Hello everyone, Nats with you, long time no see. Today I'm here with the Viper on Lotus. I'll try to explain everything what I know about that age on this map. It's a free-side map, it's a bit hard to explain some kind of stuff, but I hope that video is gonna be helpful for you and I'm not gonna talk a lot, and let's start the video. So, let's start talking from defense side. In general, defense is not so hard to understand what's happening on the Lotus. So let's start from the wall, because usually you're using the same wall. So what kind of walls do we have? We have a default wall that most of the teams right now using towards A side. So it's this one, doesn't matter how is that gonna go here. So you're just putting this wall and the main idea of that wall. So first of all, you're closing fully B, and towards A side, that allows you to re-clear all of that zone, and you don't have to always fight against the people who is staying back pillar and here. So it always gives a chance for the defense side to re-clear that zone. So, and the second wall that a lot of teams also was using, so from here a lot of teams were using it. You can use it from here, or you can use it as I was using before from here. So the main idea of that wall, that you can re-clear sand first of all. You can for free take that zone. You can also play behind that wall here. It also gives some space towards B to play here and here, and it also closes B. But the main advantage of that wall, that for the attack side when they playing, look how is that annoying. So they come here and they understand that you could be already here. So as I said, Viper usually not playing towards B, but if the Viper is playing, it's usually a few steps. You're just showing yourself here and after that going somewhere. Why I didn't say towards lane? Because it's a bit hard to check from here, you always can die. So now let's move towards C side. C side is it's where usually Viper is playing. So first of all, we have two different bubbles. We have the default one in choke, and we have this one that I start using a lot towards side. So the default one in choke, I think everyone understands what's the point of that. When the people going out, you just bubble up and trying to fight with the people who is crossing, or you're just trying to fight with people here, and it's hard for the people behind the bubble help. About the bubble here, first of all, it doesn't let the opponents push here, because it's one way first of all for you, and for them it's annoying. Second, it creates a few space for you here if you want to work with it. So it creates more positions. So what's the main idea of that bubble? Why is that bubble, I think, better? Because all of the C side, as you can see, okay, let me remove. As you can see, all of that C side is about 1, 2, 3 positions. With that bubble, we're at least creating for ourselves some kind of fights that we can, create a new fights, because it's a bit hard to play on that side only in that 3 positions, and all of that 3 positions are super default, and that's why for the open it's so easy to re-clear them. Everyone is trying to understand how to play C now, and that's why it's a bit hard to say the answer to that question. But the only thing that I can say now, be aware in that positions, because they always getting nade and always the combos, always everyone clears that. So the main idea on C is just we're showing ourselves first, like jumping, and after that we're doing what we want to see. Towards A side, I would say it's also pretty simple. Here we have 2 bubbles. We have bubble here, or we have a bubble here, if I'm not wrong.
Poison orb emitting.
For example, if you use wall to here, as some of the Vipers doing, so it hold doors, so you don't need to put one way here, you can just keep your bubble here. So if you don't have the wall here, you can use your one way and hold 3. Viper players and the Killjoy players, all of us, we have to understand for what zone we have to fight. For example, if they come in here and they splitting from 3, you understand that you cannot hold 3 anymore. You're just using molly here and trying to go back towards side. Or for example, you can do exactly the same thing, just use molly here and try to fight in front of the bubble. So the main idea towards A side, it's hard to play retake, and usually we have to fight for something. Fight for this zone or fight for 3. So on C side we can play jumping here, re-clearing only with the team, fight towards side, and we can play retake. On A, also jumping, re-clear with the team, but usually it's without Viper, and no retake usually, because retake is a bit harder. So usually Viper is trying to hold one side, tree or side. On B, usually Viper is not playing, but if Viper is playing, it's the same as the other agents, which are just checking here, and after that, if they check, wall up and going back somewhere, lane corners. So especially, I would say attack side is the same as attack side on bind. I will show first of all walls. This is the first wall towards A. This is the second wall towards A. It's gonna be barrier here.
Toxin screen down.
This is the third wall.
Toxins going up. Toxin screen down.
And this is the fourth wall. That I don't really like, but anyway, we have it. For example, when we're putting this wall, it's more when you're playing with the team towards that zone. So when you're not playing solo. So that wall only when we playing with the team, because that creates a space. It doesn't create any space here. That's also one of the problems. So we have to know the bubbles towards. Doesn't matter from where. I have one of this and I have one of this, if I'm not wrong. Yep. So here and here. So you can find better. Usually I'm just instantly throwing it.
Poison orb emitting.
Second wall is more about lurking. That's why I said about the bind. So that wall allows us to fight already. So it doesn't matter what lineup. You're just staying here and you trying to field, trying to put it here. And the main idea of that wall, that it allowed us to like go solo towards pillar, go solo towards the rock, try to work in that area. After that wall up, try to work here, here. So that wall I would suggest to use more when you're playing solo here, because with the team it's gonna be a bit hard to play with that wall, because it doesn't cover a lot. On B, it's nothing special. Usually Vipers is not playing towards B, but if they're playing, it's just contact playstyle and after finishing as a lurk. Because here it's a bit hard to do something. We're just re-clearing that zone. We can use that molly, we can use that molly as we want to. We can use this molly if I'm not wrong. Yeah, so it's gonna re-clear behind the box. And we're just trying to retake that zone and after that play after the info. On C it's a few different playstyles. For example, definitely you have to know the molly here. A lot of teams is fighting. So it's pretty easy after the barriers, you're just running here until you're gonna see that. So that plays. When you see it, you instantly just coming and throw it by the wall. And it's perfectly landing here. And the person cannot stay here and he always have to white. A lot of teams like to re-clear that C zone now. And that's why only that molly not gonna be enough. So it's gonna be a lot of pressure in that zone and it's gonna be hard to play. So that's why a lot of people start using the bubble here. So doesn't matter what lineup you will use. So it's gonna be barrier here. We're putting our first ability here. And we're doing few steps.
Poison orb emitting.
It landing perfectly. We can use molly first, we can use bubble first, we can use both together. But at least that bubble allows us, for example, if we already re-clear, it allows us to use molly inside of the bubble and re-clear fully. So we know that for them it's gonna be hard to re-clear and after that go back. Also, remember always about that kind of mollies that gonna help your team. Of course, on this map, we have to know about the lineups. Sometimes we have to finish lineups. So here what we have. We're going here, it's C lineup between the boxes. And we're putting the ability of wall here. As you can see. And we just jump through. It's perfectly lands here. The same lineup I have towards B side and towards A. So we're coming here, aiming like this, and we're putting second ability here. One more time. Here, second ability like this, and it lands perfectly towards side.
Here.
And the last lineup towards A in the default spot, we're just coming here and putting our second ability in that place. And now I'll try to explain more about the Lotus and the Viper on Lotus. I showed you how to play in A, what you can do on B, what you can do towards C side, how to use molly, bubble, how to use after. The main idea, it could be two ideas. One idea, playing with a team and use mollies for reclearing or use mollies for the lineups. And the second idea, you can always play as a lurker. For example, that map is like, it's a huge map, and for example, you're playing A, team is retaking C, team getting info towards C, so usually you have to get info about that two zones, and if opposite team doesn't get the info back, they usually losing because they doesn't have enough information. So lurking on this map is pretty good. We just have to understand about the killjoy rotations. Usually what kind of killjoy abilities we have, like turret here, alarm here, or turret here, alarm here, and the same towards A, like alarm here, turret here. So with the same killjoy setups. And if we want to lurk, we just have to understand how to play around that killjoy ability, how rotation is gonna be. We have to also understand how a slow rotation gonna be for the defense side, and only for that we have to try to understand where and how they're playing, and that thing is will allow us to understand when we're taking that zones. So if we're gonna say in general, defense is all about the holding. It's a bit hard to play retake, only sometimes C. Playing for retake. In attack side, you have two different playstyles. You can play with a team, use your abilities for helping with play lineups, or you can play lurker, play with a team first, and after that play lurker, because sometimes anyway your team gonna go back because that map is huge. You can rotate, you can try to understand the rotation of the opposite team, and Viper can make a lot of pressure because her abilities anyway here. Viper is using mollies, so that kind of playstyle Viper has. There is nothing specific. The only hard thing of that map is to understand how the mid round is working, and it's all about the experience, so it's hard to explain how is that gonna be because it's a lot of different situations, and we cannot talk about exactly only one that's gonna work always. It always has to be different decisions, and you will come to it, I'm pretty sure. I hope that content was helpful for you. I hope you like that the video guide content is back. So I tried to explain everything what I know about that agent. Is a bit hard in some kind of moments, but I hope you understand anyway what I mean. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to leave a like, don't forget to follow the channel and leave a comment. I would be super happy if you're gonna do that. Of course, don't forget about the other socials, and thank you for watching, and see you in the other videos. Bye.